Back to the next podcast session in the Transformers community online relevant to GameFAQs.com. Join with me now is one of the old schoolers. Gave up the game a long while ago in order to hop onto PlayStation 4 in order to delve into Warframe and Injustice 2, formerly of Cybertronian Commandos, Elite Overlords, and Lightning Strike Coalition back in the day. I'd like to introduce you to my friend GalacticKnight12.
Hey.
It's Fat Albert.
Yeah.
I knew where that was going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an oldie but goodie. So what's going on, Galactic?
Nothing much. Birthday's coming up soon.
Oh, happy
That's
birthday in
gonna be on
advance.
Sunday.
I hope you have a good one coming.
Thank you so much, man.
Okay. So what's new been going on since the last time I heard from you?
I guess playing, Warframe as usual, but got back into Overwatch.
Okay, fair enough. Can't go wrong there. It has a pretty good competitive gameplay outline. I'm just saddened by the fact that there was no campaign to try to delve into to allow a deeper connectivity outside of the lore that comes from those cutscenes.
The Uprising event was kind of like that, but it's like, it was an event, and that's why that don't count.
It doesn't count in anything more than that?
I wouldn't count it as that, because, I mean, it was an event. It told a little bit of story, but then it was basically like escalation, if I had to compare it to something. It wasn't bad though, but it was hard.
Like, did it go in depth?
I wouldn't say too much. I mean, they followed like a simple story where it's just Tracer's first mission.
I would definitely like to see that. Alright, so you ready to hop in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, well, question 1. What inspired you to make a difference in the communities you were a part of?
Alright, fun thing about that. Back in 2013 approximately, maybe late 2012, I started catching wind that there was a way that most Transformers FOC players were talking. And I was like, wow, where's that? Wasn't exactly told, so I searched for it and found an active board on GameFAQs. Looking at it, I was very intrigued by what I saw, but I didn't want to hop in it just yet, as I was young, confused. I mean, I still was young and confused about everything, because that would have been my first community that I joined, which it is. And I'll be honest, I'm not proud of most of the stuff that has gone down, but I mean, learn from my mistakes in there, because when you talk about change in the community, there were some changes that may have been for the better, but I mean, most notably, if you were to look at all that I've done, you could definitely remember some of the negative impact that I've had on the community.
But you seem like such a jolly and happy soul.
Oh, I am now, but I mean, like, back then, I was basically just, I went from trying to be friends with everybody to, being like, you know what, it's not working, I'm gonna throw a fit over it.
That's surprising, but, I mean, everybody does change.
Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't say that I had a major impact, but I mean, it was an impact, and it happened.
Was a lot learned from it?
Oh yeah, a lot's learned from it. You'll definitely find that I'm not stirring up any drama on accident or like doing anything outside of FOC that one would consider, I guess, starting drama.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
I think that answers that.
I think it does.
Yeah, I can't think of much more to say on that one.
Okay. Question 2. How has the online community affected you all around?
I gotta say, even though I talked about, like, you know, the doom and gloom with the whole last answer, I honestly think it has impacted me quite alright. Like, given me a little bit of experience under my belt, learning that, yes, words have a lot more impact than what you think, because there's a lot of times where I didn't actually mean what I say, but at the same time, too, it's like, you shouldn't go out and say stuff like that. I'm not gonna name the example because I'm pretty sure he knows who he is, but I said something nasty, and I'm kind of ashamed. Well, I am ashamed, but I'm kind of just ashamed of the fact that when I'm looking back at it, I didn't really apologize in the best way. Because I made up excuses, and that's not cool.
It's like you didn't want to try to confront him about it?
Yeah, well, I mean, this certain individual likely wouldn't hear it.
Okay, I understand that some. And it's something that you wanted to, I guess, kind of just let time, in a sense, sweep it under the rug, and it would just pass away, in a sense.
Well, I mean, I think it's all over and done with. I mean, him and I are still on each other's friends list, but we don't talk.
Okay. Be that mutual
Like if you're wanting basically a hint about it, yeah, he's still on my friends list, and if you're looking through it, you'll find him.
Gotcha. Question 3. What is your stance on hackers and commonplace cheaters?
Now, before, I even knew that glitching was wrong, I did do the launch glitch. Now, I mean, it's the one where you're walking on the sky, and I thought it was cool, but I quickly found out that it's exploiting the game and stuff, and I mean, everybody's like, at least probably done it once, but I did it in public for once. But my actual stance on glitching is, like, if you're gonna use an exploit that is in the game, yes, but if it's not being taught to you by the game itself, you're probably doing something wrong. And then hackers know that they're doing wrong because they gotta modify the game to fit
Meet their
needs
specifications,
and become this overpowered super soldier. And on this one, I don't mind dropping the name on it because, I mean, everybody knows who this guy is by this point, but Natara Phoenix was notorious for doing a CRC hack where he was rapid firing it and he didn't have to reload.
Natara Phoenix?
Yeah, I made a video about him and I think I have it unlisted. I can I could probably link it to you, and you can put it in the description of your video. You don't have to exactly like watch it to learn anything new, but you can see it in action.
Oh, okay. Because that's a name I've definitely not heard of. So that's one of the older names, or I guess one of the older glitchers in the community before the more notable ones.
Nah, he's not older. He was newer, and he just didn't do it as long as the other ones did. So that's why he kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
Okay.
So I mean, he did it, but you just didn't catch him doing it that much. And it might just be that he doesn't play the game all the time, but when he does, he's hacking. Turn that into a meme.
That sounds like a similar visual observation like that Bobo the Clown guy.
Yeah, but alright. I guess basically, with him, I think he learned his lesson on that, though. But I mean, I'm not sure. I barely knew him. But he seemed pretty cool whenever I read the boards.
Okay. And he used to be on board, so he had an idea of what he was doing after a while.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't delve that far.
Let's see. Question 4.
Hmm?
What is your stance on individuals that have had to bend the rules, seen or otherwise implied, to achieve a goal or prove a general point?
Now, for this one, definitely not dropping names, because I'm not trying to stir drama with people or anything like that. But
well, be that as it may, you are still entitled to what you want to say.
Yeah. But while I was like in the hiatus that I am now from FOC, there has been like word coming my way that there was some unfair rules being made, possible cheating was involved, and it was trying to be passed off as a whole no, this is actually legitimate. But as far as that goes, I don't think it's cool. If you're organizing a tournament, it's just a game. You don't really have to cheat to prove a point. Like, proving a point in a video game is, well, no pun intended, pointless.
Basically.
I'm kind of stumbling on that one because it's like, I haven't seen it as much, but I've heard about it.
It has its times where, well, it's had its times. So far, it seems to be entering into a very unique calm. But for the most part, earlier this year, or last year for that matter, you'd have the occasional clan battle or something in the clan scene or in the community that would trigger an unusual bias or unbiased difference in perspectives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I ain't gonna drop who asked, but I mean, I was asked about if something was legitimate or not, and I mean, I looked over the video that I was sent, and maybe it was lag, maybe it wasn't. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, if they think something was shady, it was probably shady. Now, I'm not saying that they thought there was lag switching or something, but they thought there was something going on.
I'm trying to visualize this. Somebody brought it to your attention that something was astray, and so you
Yeah.
did investigate this or look into this in your own right and try and compare and contrast, and found out that said person or persons was.
Well, I couldn't determine anything, because to be honest, it didn't look any bit suspicious or anything like that. The only thing that I could probably put against the said individual that was accused was they probably were the host and they probably had access to a lag switch. But at the same time too, there was other conditions that just didn't seem like they fit. But as it turns out, this player apparently didn't follow the clan rule, and that was something that could be held against this individual, and that was another thing that was brought up to my attention, was that they were recruited before the battle. Like, just right before.
Right before the battle.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, I remember reading about this on GFAX. I think I have an idea what you're talking about.
You may or may not, because I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
Nah, but I've tried to do my studying of GameFAQs in order to try to... In my studies of GameFAQs, trying to study a lot of the old clans so I can try to make documentations about them, or at least just educate myself on past clans and where current clans come from, or where the ideas came from. I come across
you know, if something big happens, I probably have heard about it.
Probably. Because the last big thing I read about was some huge argument which led to the birth of Legends United. And this I'm trying to read on very carefully, because if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the 4 big clans that came out of EO. And so this is one I'm just trying to study, that way whenever it is I do that Elite Overlords documentation, whenever you can assist me with that, then that would be most appreciative. But as you were saying...
Well, kinda a little bit off topic. I love how you pronounced it, Yugal. The only other person I know has ever pronounced it that way was Sandy.
Babe or Claus?
Awesome, Babe.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I've heard people say Yuggle.
Saying that, and we had like a little inside joke at CC. I ain't gonna say it because, of course, it's an inside joke, but we had an inside joke about it.
Okay. But I guess that does get the point across there for your stance on individuals that have had to bend the rules and to prove a general point. It's not something that's generally seen in the correct sense, if I'm getting that correctly from an overall summarization. Let me see, moving along pretty quickly here. Question 5. Does leaderboards hold sentimentality for you?
No, and I mean, I joined in a little later, so I mean, in the back of my mind, yes, I always did know that I wasn't gonna, like, be top 20. But I mean, I honestly, because first gaming community, I didn't know any better. When I started reaching like the hundreds digits, I was like, dang, I must be trucking.
Yeah, if you're able to crack that.
It didn't really matter as much to me as winning clan battles or whatnot, even though I barely participated in them. And I guess I have not much more to say on that one.
Very straightforward. I mean, most of the time it's either a yes or a no or something else intertwined, but yeah, you were very direct on it. Question 6. have you had the chance to play for a clan or a gaming group of friends?
Like officially, or like just like
Yes.
anytime?
Officially and unofficially.
Yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of playtime with clans, most notably CC. If I had to, I guess, rank it from most to least played with. Because
Cybertron
in my
Commandos.
clans, yeah, with the Cybertronian Commandos, I've played with them the most. Maybe EL the second, and then I joined LSC, but it was around the time that I decided to just go, so I barely had playtime with them.
I still think you left on a high note all the same if you left out with them.
Yeah, and MZ's awesome. Like, I was in a sticky situation, and he got me out of it.
Oh, MZ and Torque are good people like that.
Yep. Because I watched the Tark podcast, and I mean, like, I couldn't agree with him more on MZ. Like, he's a good leader.
Mm-hmm. And since you have had the chance to play for clans, how has the clan scene evolved your perspective on being in the community?
Well, I don't know if it evolved my perspective. It was just more of like I liked being in clans, and especially CC. Like, it's my favorite of all time because, like, whenever I was hanging around them, like, we had our own inside jokes, we had our own website, we were just like, you know, exclusive club, but at the same time too, we weren't like trying to keep people out. Like, if you asked us, we would have given you a chance, but it wasn't about skill, it was about how chill you were. Like, if you were gonna start drama, you were likely not going to get into the clan.
That sounds like a very good failsafe.
Yeah, so I guess let me tell you the testing process, because I mean, since CC is over now, I can tell you about it.
Sure.
What we do to test players to get into there, because I've heard about testing players where they're testing for skill. I'm testing for sportsmanship, where I'm using the most controversial setups and playing in a seemingly unfair way, just to see if I can get this person to rage or not. And if they're not raging, they basically pass. Because
That would be a very good test. That's a nice test.
We weren't testing for skill, we were testing for character and how chill you were.
I can see a lot of people failing that test nowadays.
We didn't care about, like, winning or losing clan battles. We just cared about participating and, you know, like, having fun. Although, what kind of ended it was the lack of clan battles that we were getting accepted in, because we were kind of shoved aside by a certain clan. Not gonna name them, but we ended up having a debate about how seriously we were being taken, because we weren't ran like other clans, we were different, and I mean, that's what I liked about it. But basically it became a let's shut down the clan if we all really think what we think about this.
Well, every clan is different for a reason. I mean, that's what gives each group its own identity.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
the commandos will always be remembered by me. Like, every single one of them. They were pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know if I had a chance to tell you. I did get a chance to meet your boy D Razor X.
Yeah, yeah, you told me.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he was
I really like that
CC
guy.
Leroy boy.
Leroy boy.
He was Leroy boy with
I like that name.
Boii.
To the past tense, two eyes.
It was like a lot of eyes, and then I think there was a Y at the end. I'm not sure. But I mean, his name and my name were kind of like the funny names because I was CC Whack Daddy.
Yes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the other ones were fairly serious, or like off of other people's gamer tags.
Gotcha. Play off of their names.
Like for example, we had a member named Top Shot. Really cool guy. Wish I saw more of him. But he his name was just CC Top Shot.
Okay. And it kind of incorporated their own name into the clan tag.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Question 7. What's more important to your perspective on enjoying the adventure offered in the gameplay? Friendship or power?
I'd have to say friendship. I mean, with the long conversation I just had with you about the CC thing, it's like I used to think that, like, hey, power is pretty cool, but, like, ever since I got the CC, like, I learned, like, friends are very valuable in gaming communities, and if you can just keep, like, a tight-knit group, like, you'll be set. And I mean, that's the cool thing, is I'm still playing with an old CC member and an old wrecker. I ain't gonna pop out their names because they've made it clear that they don't want really any part in any type of drama or whatnot. I'm sure the other one doesn't care, but I like to respect their wishes.
By all means, and as shall I. I'm sure those guys were pretty good members in their time. These were also from CC?
One's from CC and the other one is a former wrecker.
From the Wreckers?
Yes.
Oh, 811's crew, damn. Nice.
Yeah, that we each are actually tied in mastery rank on Warframe right now.
Ooh. I like that.
With the one that's a former wrecker, I think at the point where he can level up his mastery rank right now. I'd have to check, but I think he's able to. And then I'm tied with the other CC member.
The beat still goes on.
Yeah. Might not be the whole group, but I mean, like,
Bits and pieces, you still keep it going.
Yeah.
And reflect on the good times as you keep making more good times.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Question 8, and this will be the final question on the panel. What is your advice? What is your advice to the newer generation of players seeking a great online adventure to be had?
Alright. Well, this one is maybe obvious, but I mean, I think it needs to be repeated because not enough people hear about it, in my opinion. But what you need to have a pleasant online experience is, one, look at the game from a neutral perspective. Like, how many kills am I gonna get is probably not what you want to be thinking about. Is how much fun am I gonna be having? And then finding people who are like-minded like you, or maybe like people that you just get along with, and grouping up with them and constantly playing with them, you will have a positive online experience, and heck, you're going to win a lot more games because it's going to be positive reinforcement. If you have negative reinforcement, everybody gets tilted, everybody plays bad because their emotions are getting in the way.
And they start taking it seriously rather than keeping the focus on the general perspective where it originally was.
Exactly. And I mean, the game that I can honestly say has like the best example of this is go on YouTube, search up toxic Overwatch videos on PS4. You will find that every time somebody's losing, they're already tilted and already are prepared for a loss.
Oh man, you talk about some cancerous people.
But I mean, if you look at them, you definitely know what not to do.
Yeah, it's just a matter of just making sure you don't repeat it.
Yeah.
Learn from their mistakes in a sense.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything more to say on that.
Anything else you'd like to go into before we close the panel?
I guess just saying thank you for having me on here. I honestly love what you're doing. I want to see you continue. In fact, you're one of the very few channels that I put that bell icon on.
Oh, well, I thank you a lot, Galactic.
Yeah.
I try to keep it going as best as I can, because this was an idea I originally pitched to GameFAQs just to try something different and to see what new stuff I can still bring out of this game. And so the idea hit me, and then I talked about it once with Ethan, and the idea struck for me, instead to try and keep going forward with the game, why not try to take a step back? And the way to take a step back was to figure out how to bring the perspective of the past to the present. That's what I was trying to think for a while.
A guy like Ethan. I mean, Ethan's awesome.
He is.
I sometimes play Warframe with him whenever he invites and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'll join.
I know he has Overwatch. I have yet to play a game of Overwatch or Destiny with him because I know he's got it, and I want to try and see if we can pop in a couple games.
One Overwatch game with him, and I think he was pretty good. I don't remember much of it because I only played with him but once. But yeah, him and Electro are still kicking it, keeping on going.
Electro Spikes?
Yes.
Okay. Is he out here on PlayStation 4?
Yeah, he's on here. He plays Warframe too, and I thought I saw him on Overwatch.
Mayhaps I need to see if he is interested.
Yeah.
I believe he was associated with a couple of groups. He was in PF, I believe, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Okay. Does he have a mic?
I think it is. No, he does not.
Dang. I can still give it a shot and try it out and see if he's interested and see if we can work something out.
Yeah.
And then that's when the idea just hit to talking with him, just try and think, wait a minute, what about trying to do, if I talk to them, how would I do it? And so I'm thinking, okay, let's do podcasts, because I was originally doing podcasts here or there in the earlier stages of my channel just to do something different in order to just grab at straws in order to try and bring in viewer interest with Murad of different types of things to bring in on my channel. Because that was back before I was a big Transformers YouTuber. I was kind of a botched Borderlands YouTuber.
Gotcha.
And it didn't go anywhere fast. I mean, I had a long Let's Play where it made the debut for this one guy that's a big Destiny player-ish now, and this girl that's a pretty good GTA player, and then a modder back then, one of the actually good modders that tried to hook me up with a lot of really nice weapon deals when we played Borderlands. Name was AdmiBro4321.
Huh.
And then back then, there were just the occasional podcasts I did here or there just to get perspectives on different things. But the problem over time is that very few people really wanted to engage in doing podcasts because either everybody had Skype or was too lazy to use it, or people had Facebook at the... No, this was actually before Facebook. Or people had Google and had Google Hangouts, but didn't know how to use the Hangout option to make a call. Because Facebook I just recently found earlier this year, and then I'm just trying, and then I can also make calls and actually branch this out also through that. And so I decided to take the initiative and just see where a series of podcasts or a podcast segment series can go, and see how long I can keep this going in order to try and give a direct sense of a past reflection. And so that's why when I made my debut on GameFAQs about it, that's why I said, okay, my first post on GameFAQs, legitimately speaking, let's see if I can't just debut this idea and see what everybody thought. And it seemed like it's a pretty big hit.
Yeah. Oh, now before I go, because it's getting late for me, I will tell you this funny story related to podcasts. Ooh. So I had these two FOC friends of mine. I don't remember their names because it's been so long, but they were playing Destiny around when it was new, and they were doing podcasts, and they were just doing it for fun. But they told me that there was a girl that said that they liked one of the people's voices, and I found their YouTube channel, and when they made a new video, I typed in on their comment section, "I like your voice."
Man, lucky him.
But like I tried to make it look creepy too by adding a smile emoji at the end.
Oh. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so much. Oh, that's nice. That's better than what it is I had once.
Stories about that happened to you on YouTube, because I might just do it.
Well, there you go. I mean, shoot, I remember when I did the when it was actually the debut of the Rise of Iron DLC, when I was back on PS3 and I did a documentation about it on PlayStation 4. There was some jackknob in the comment section that commented like, "God, I hate your voice. It's like you're choking on a cat or some shit. Can you please shut the hell up?" I wanted to say something so bad, but I took the high road, decided to be the bigger man. I'm just gonna let that shit slide. But what I did do,
like, passive, like a Zenyatta, being all like,
I hopped on the Tact account though. I hopped on the Tact Productions account though, and I comment on this guy, and it's like, dude, who the fuck do you think you are? You probably sound like a little girl.
I would have been like, "It's okay. If you don't want to hear my voice, you can either pause the video, close the tab, or select a new video."
True.
And then
or you can make yourself deaf.
"Thank you for watching" with a smile emoji.
Oh, that's letting them down real easy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you're also kind of being a smartass too.
Touche. Touche.
Well, I'll see you later, man.
Okay, Galactic, I thank you for your time, man, and we'll see if we can't do this again, and just share it with your friends to see if they're interested in being a part of my podcast segment for GameFAQs.
Yeah.
Okay, viewers, and that'll end this podcast for this evening. And on that note, by all means, please stay tuned for when we have our next podcast on PlayStation 4. And as always, till all are one.
Word. Alright.
Alright, I'll see you, man.